A rare and highly anticipated summit took place on November 1st. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung hosted Chinese President Xi Jinping in a meeting aimed at navigating the increasingly complex security dynamics of the Korean Peninsula. The talks, held in the wake of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) gathering in Gyeongju, marked President Xi's first official visit to South Korea in over a decade, a period during which regional alliance and tensions have significantly shifted. At the heart of the discussion was the persistent challenge of North Korea. President Lee directly appealed to his Chinese counterpart, emphasizing that Beijing's role is essential for stability and urging China to use its considerable influence to help resume dialogue with Pyongyang. This plea comes as North Korea has adamantly dismissed the concept of denuclearization as a pipe dream of the West, underscoring the diplomatic impasse. President Lee advocates for a phased approach to the issue, suggesting a strategy that would begin with engagement and a freeze on further nuclear weapons development, rather than demanding immediate and complete disarmament. For his part, President Xi affirmed that Beijing placed great importance on its relationship with Seoul and expressed a willingness to expand cooperation on various fronts and jointly respond to regional challenges, a statement seen by observers as a cautious recalibration of China's position amid the peninsula's rising tension. While the leaders engaged in high-level diplomacy, the street of Seoul painted a starkly different picture, as hundreds of protesters voiced their strong opposition to President Xi's visit and what they perceive as growing Chinese influence. A large demonstration, organized primarily by conservative groups such as Free Univ, converged on the city's vibrant Hongdae district, a popular hub for youth and commerce. Marching through the busy street, participants waved South Korean national flags and carried placards with defined message, including China out and South Korea is for South Korean. The chant and slogans reflected a deep-seated anger over a range of issues, from Beijing's economic policies to its handling of historical dispute and its perceived support for North Korea. Protest organizers and attendees expressed skepticism about the summit, with one leader, Park Myung, stating his belief that the seemingly friendly meeting between the two presidents had failed to resolve any of the fundamental problems that exist between the two nations. The demonstration highlighted a significant undercurrent of anti-China sentiments within a segment of the South Korean public, presenting a domestic political challenge for President Lee as he attempts to balance his nation's critical security alliance with the United States and its vital economic partnership with China. The protests continued as President Xi prepared to attend a state banquet before his departure, serving as a powerful reminder of the complex public opinion landscape shaping the future of Sino-South Korean relations. In Brazil, the city of Rio de Janeiro has been consumed by anger and grief following Operation Contention, the largest anti-drug raid in the country's history, which resulted in the death of more than 130 people in the city's impoverished favela communities. The operation was publicly hailed by state authorities as a landmark victory against the Comando Vermelho, or Red Command, one of Brazil's most powerful and notorious criminal syndicates. Government officials framed the mission as a necessary and decisive action to reclaim territory from the control of organized crime, disrupt drug trafficking networks, and restore a semblance of law and order to neighborhoods long abandoned by the state. From the government's perspective, the high death toll, while tragic, was an unavoidable consequence of confronting a heavily armed and entrenched criminal enterprise that has terrorized the city for decades. The official's narrative portrayed the security forces as heroes engaged in a righteous battle to protect the broader population from the violence and corruption fueled by the drug trade. This framing sought to justify the extreme measure taken by presenting the raid as a critical step toward ensuring the long-term safety and security of Rio de Janeiro citizens, suggesting that the dismantling of such a powerful syndicate was a prerequisite for any meaningful social progress. This official narrative of a successful security operation has been fiercely rejected by residents of the targeted favelas, human rights organizations, and a growing number of Brazilians who have condemned the raid as a racial massacre and an act of state-sanctioned terror. The aftermath of the operation revealed graphic and horrifying scenes of corpses left on the street, sparking immediate and widespread outrage. Critics argue that the overwhelming majority of the victims were Brazil's poorest predominantly Afro-Brazilian communities, highlighting the raid as a brutal manifestation of systematic racism and police brutality. The sheer scales of the killing has drawn severe condemnation from international bodies, including the United Nations, which called for an immediate and impartial investigation. Across Brazil, protests have erupted, demanding justice for the victims and an end to what many sees as a violent war on the poor disguised as a war on drugs. The incident has exposed the deep and painful chasm between the government's pursuit of a hardline security policy and the live reality of its most vulnerable citizens. Operation Contention has become a flashpoint, igniting a national debate over the state's use of lethal force, the militarization of policing, and the profound social and racial inequalities that continue to plague the nations. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question though. Between anti-China protests in Seoul, deadly police raids in Rio, and great power maneuvering from the Caribbean to the Korean Peninsula, is the global order collapsing into regional chaos, and why? During the debate, we want to hear your insightful opinion on where this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.